Welcome back to Raw the Podcast. I'm your host, Allie, founder of TheCheekyClean and Conscious Cart, LLC, bringing cleaner, safer products and resources to consumers to live more consciously. I'm so excited to be joined here today by LaJAshley, who has many titles: chemist, CEO, educator, innovator, etc, etc. Laura is the CEO of, say your company name.
LaJAshley.
LaJaSley.
Yeah.
Chic. I love that. A natural hair and skincare brand that specializes in high quality, vegan, and organic products. She's a passionate advocate for sustainable beauty and is currently revolutionizing the industry by combining topical hair health with superfood-based nutrition. Laura, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Allie.
Thank you for being here. We have so much in common and so much to talk about.
Yeah.
And kind of just for the audience, how we got here is Laura and I are both part of the Wonder Women of Food group. I've talked about it a few times on the show, an entrepreneur group here in Cleveland. And we've never met in person, but we've had meetings where I've been remote and I've heard you talking about your brand and other people within the group saying, oh my gosh, you have to meet Laura. I love what you were saying in the bio. What we said is revolutionizing the industry, because that is what I always say is my goal is to revolutionize consumerism.
Yes.
And it is a revolution once you realize the standard for the industry and how different we're trying to make it. So I love that you use that word. And I love that we both have an interesting background with knowing the behind the scenes and shifting our focus and really trying to bring something better to consumers. So Laura and I have been meaning to get together. I think since like December, we were talking about getting lunch, and then the holidays came.
Yeah.
And it's like chaos. And I'm like,
And snow.
Oh my gosh, feet of snow, it feels like. So I'm like, why don't we just have you in the studio and record this? Because I feel like our conversation is going to be so interesting for other people who may be A, up and coming entrepreneurs, B, interested in clean beauty, C, like want to be inspired by just your story in general. So we're actually meeting in life for the first time today.
Yes.
So it's an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure is all mine.
And I love your brand. I've been following you for a while and just kind of like watching you behind the scenes. It's super cool and I can't wait to learn more about it. So let's start off with, before we got on the podcast, you were mentioning that, because you called me when you were here, that you have a New York number.
Yes.
So born and raised in New York?
Born and raised in New York for 20-something years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what brought you to Cleveland?
Business. So I actually used to run a sales and marketing company.
Okay.
And that took me pretty much all over the country. But Cleveland always felt like home. I mean, I've been to Dallas and Cali, and just Cleveland felt closer to home because it was literally closer to home
Totally.
to New York. But it just felt really stable. I really like the people, the environment, and the lack of traffic. So,
yeah, those two things, until if you're from Cleveland and move out, you don't appreciate it. Or if you're new here, it's like that is always what sticks out is Midwest people really have such big hearts and are so kind and cool. Mm-hmm. And then no one knows traffic that's from Cleveland until you've lived in a big city.
Yeah, you listen. When people complain about traffic, I'm like, listen, this is amazing.
It's amazing.
This is amazing.
And I actually thought of that this morning because I was on my way to the gym from Lakewood to Tremont. It's so short. And there was a tiny bit of traffic. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, girl, like you have no way to even be annoyed about this for 1 second after like the traffic that I've sat in LA.
Right.
So I feel it. So tell me a little bit about your background, because you mentioned a sales and marketing company. Like, I'm interested in when that was. And I know you went to school to be a chemist.
Yes. Well, actually, I didn't go to school to be a chemist at first. So my mom, shout out to my mom, she put me in a forensic forum. Well, first she put me in a law forum for 2 weeks. I think it was like summer junior high. And then a few weeks later, she put me in a forensic forum to kind of just see like, what I would be interested in.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't interested in law. And with forensics, it was really, really cool. So the way the whole camp was set up, it was set up like CSI. So they touched on many different aspects of forensics, but and I went to school to actually be a forensic pathologist.
Wow.
But then I started working in the Career Center.
Where'd you go to school?
Hofstra University.
Okay.
That's in Hempstead, Long Island.
Cool.
New York. And I worked in the Career Center. I was researching careers for other people. I'm just like, I haven't really fully researched my profession that I'm coming here to school for. And it said that it would take me 16 years to finish. And I said, hell to the no. I am not spending this much time in school. Right. So I started as a biochem major. And then since, I had the luxury of looking up professions, I was looking at something that I could do. And so I was looking into medicine, but I took one pharmacology class and I was completely disgusted with big pharma. And it made me want to see if there was any other side, which was holistic medicine, but it wasn't really popular around the time when I was in college. So I kind of was just like, I'm not really too sure what I want to do.
What year did you graduate?
2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're around the same age. No, we're very close in age, which I thought so.
We look glamorously young.
Totally. Age is nothing with clean beauty, right?
Exactly. I mean, it just makes sense, right? Yeah. Yes. During the summer, I was kind of like, so this is like after I graduated, I was just like, I kind of don't really know what part of medicine I want to get into. And then I kind of felt like I didn't have any other choice but to be like a pharmacy tech. So I just attempted to work at CVS
oh my God.
in college. This is like, before I left college. Yeah. And that just didn't work. And I don't feel like they were even, because they told me I had to start as a cashier. And I was just like, I don't really want to like doing this. Like, this is ridiculous. And so I think that was my first retail job. And I didn't feel like they were going to allow me to get into the pharmacist position. So I'm just like, forget it. So luckily I had a friend whose mother worked with a famous skincare line. And I was able to intern with her.
Nice.
But what I realized is that they had a lot of chemicals in the skincare products that they we're promoting and that, people are using on their skin. And I was just like, I have way too much knowledge right now to feel comfortable with doing this long term. So I stopped and I decided to see if I could create my own products. So I have like this knowledge. And then I also grew up with Jamaican parents, and Caribbean parents are very much so hooked on teas and bitters and herbs. And
amazing.
And so I grew up, in a household where natural things were used instead of Western medicine.
Love it. And so you had that exposure to like what different does exist and is out there and can be healing.
Exactly. Yeah. I went very, very raw in terms of, pun intended, right? In terms of how I was creating these products. And I wasn't making products for skin first. I was making products for hair because my hair was falling out. So in college, stress, and then also chemically processing my hair to make it straight by relaxing it, my hair kept falling out. And so I was just like, well, I want to see if I could create something for my hair to have better health, for it to grow and all of the things. So I started out with like blending up like avocados and olive oil and all those things. And
in your house?
In my mom's kitchen.
Love.
And I was just like, I mean, this is pretty good. Like, I used it on myself and it worked, but then I'm just like, oh, it kind of stinks. And so I made some for my friends to see if they, wanted to test this out and see if they liked it. And they really didn't like it. So
you're like, back to the kitchen.
Yeah, back to the kitchen. So the quality of it was good. It's just that people are used to what people are used to, right?
Totally.
They're used to being able to buy their shampoo, and their conditioner in the store that they could leave on a shelf instead of having to refrigerate it. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, so I need to change up my formulas. And so I wanted to keep the integrity of natural products or natural ingredients without having to compromise with like using synthetic preservatives and all of the things. And so
the harsh chemicals.
Yeah. And so I kind of had to wait a little bit. And this was like 12 years ago, if not more. Yeah. It's probably more than 12 years. In my head, it's just 12. But,
yeah, totally.
I had to wait for a lot of the suppliers to catch up. And so like around that time, I started seeing certain suppliers adopt EcoCert.
Were you still working as a chemist with the other beauty brand? So you left?
Yeah.
And you were just like trying to figure out your own thing?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out. Yeah.
Guts. At that age.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I was used to just kind of like doing things on my own. Yeah. I was in a way somewhat of an entrepreneur. Yeah. I was teaching piano. I was tutoring in the sciences, just doing different things. So I kind of I've kind of never felt like I could really work for someone long term anyway.
Yeah.
And I tried at CVS and it didn't work. So just like, yeah, this is not for me. So I didn't really have much of an example too much of entrepreneurship growing up, but I knew working for myself was the best thing. And I probably shouldn't say that too much because my dad was an entrepreneur. He just, well, I can't say he was an entrepreneur. He's more of a business owner.
Yeah.
He didn't have like the mindset of like scaling and growing and
like building from scratch.
Building,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Like, but he fixed refrigerators and air conditioners. So he had his business and he was really profitable with it too.
More like service type business.
Yeah. But products, it was just like, yeah, I'm not really too sure. But I also had a friend who used to work for another beauty brand when she like had just first started this beauty brand. And that brand was also like making things from scratch to where you had to refrigerate certain things and stuff like. And she was able to go on tour and all that type of stuff, but that was super intimidating for me to try to like go cross country with this. And yeah, it was just super intimidating. So I just wanted to see if I could create it for myself and then possibly for my friends.
Got it.
And then once I got formulas that actually work and were still all natural, that's when I started to then continue to grow my products. So then I started out with a shampoo, conditioner, a leave-in conditioner, and an oil.
So you were saying, going back a little bit, so you were saying like the suppliers weren't there yet.
Yeah.
So you were like well aware that if you were going to formulate something that was a little, at the time, that was a little bit more conducive to what the consumer was used to, that it was going to require some of these harsher chemicals in order to be shelf stable and have these different properties. So you were just kind of like holding tight and keeping a pulse.
Right. Yeah. I didn't start going to market until I felt like my products were more so appealing to a customer in terms of being shelf stable, but without, harmful chemicals.
Yeah. And how long did it take until you felt like, because you said some eco certs, like some suppliers started getting there. How long did it take for you to like dial in the formula from like when you had the idea of starting to do the avocado oil in your kitchen to creating something that was going on the market?
I would say it took me about 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years. Because I feel like also like around that time, that's when the natural movement in New York was starting and people were starting to be more conscious of things.
Got it.
And I think it really put pressure on a lot of suppliers to really change up certain things and realize we don't have to use, heavy chemicals, because it's just cheaper. There are, different avenues you can go to where it's not, you don't have to pay so much for certain natural ingredients to be able to be used in products.
Got it. So were you still creating this in your kitchen or were you like in a lab?
I was still creating in the kitchen.
I love it. So you were like getting the products from the suppliers delivered to your house?
So
badass. I'm obsessed.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Cool. So what were some of the key ingredients that you needed in order to kind of like get it to the point of shelf stability?
So I would say rosemary. We really need to see as a people how things are in nature to understand what they would do and how they would benefit us. So rosemary is a very resilient plant, which means that preserving itself is something that it does, which then means that it can preserve other things. So rosemary was definitely something that I used when I was starting out making these consumer-friendly products that really, really worked really well for the stability and shelf stableness of my products. So
very cool. Wow, so badass. So you dialed in the formula for shampoo, conditioner, leave-in,
and an oil.
And you're like, okay, I'm going to market, seeing how this goes.
Kind of, sort of. So I didn't I guess market to me was people around me.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I really just wanted to test this out on like family and friends. And like, I remember like my church had a picnic. And so I had a table and, I was just selling this to like the members of my church and just seeing how they liked it. And I also had friends that had different hair textures and also family members. And some of them were like, like my hair doesn't really like oil that much. So, this really wouldn't work for me. And I'm like, okay. And then I kind of felt bad. I'm like, well, that's not fair. So I was just like, all right, well, let me see if I can make something that would be good for a straighter hair type or, oily scalps.
Yeah.
So that just allowed me to spiral, I guess, into creating 26 different products.
Wow.
Yes. because I wanted my products to be inclusive for all hair types, and everybody's
Totally.
hair and hair situation is different. And so I just
Absolutely.
really wanted to make sure that everybody felt included and everybody could benefit from all
That's
natural
so
products.
interesting when you really think about it, because it's like going back to what you were saying about like big pharma. I think one of the reasons that consumers are starting to realize that there's some issues with it is because every body is different,
Mhm.
right? And it's like the same like prescription isn't going to work for every single person's health in the same way. And that goes the exact same way when it comes to beauty
Yeah,
and health of our hair. And we don't
absolutely.
think about it in that way. It's
No.
more just like these are the brands we've always used. We need a shampoo and conditioner. And what we don't
Mhm.
realize is that everyone has different hair texture, different scalp
Mhm.
needs, different pH of their body,
Yeah,
and the formula can almost be like a medicine for the skin or the hair.
absolutely.
And that's so cool when you think about it being formulated in that way
Mhm.
instead of just like something random off the shelf and then wondering why you're like having frizzy hair, whatever your
Mhm.
issue is.
Yeah, and I think as consumers, we've been so conditioned to just work with what we're given. You
Yeah.
know, we're given a store with products and this is all we know. We don't know how to grow our own food. We're not necessarily encouraged
Mhm.
unless, like, we have parents or family members, grandparents, that grew up that way,
Yeah.
right? So I think sometimes consumerism can cripple us
Totally.
in ways that we don't realize until the veil has been removed. And we're
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm not just supposed to eat Oreos 5 times a day.
And this beauty product isn't actually making me beautiful.
Yes.
It's harming me.
Yes.
I
Right.
know. It is, the veil is like slowly starting to lift. I think there's still so much opportunity for education, which is what I love about your mission and your way of bringing light to it, because I think that's what was so interesting to me in the chemical industry. I was telling you beforehand, I spent my whole career there. So it was like 13 years for me in the chemical
Mm.
industry, like from the second I graduated until last year when I left. And I had the ability to work with a lot of different big brands, and I was mostly in the industrial space, but it crossed over heavily into consumer products. And because a lot of these brands have so many different divisions,
Mm.
and we don't always realize as consumers that like the same 10 brands own like everything in our stores. But
Mm.
anyways, in the last 5 years that I was in the business, it really was so cool to see how much of an interest the consumers were taking in wanting better products, because the whole thing until then, and it still is, it's like then, the chemistry started to come around and formulators and brands were creating products that were the next generation, cleaner, healthier, safer chemistry for the earth, for the humans, for everything. They weren't really selling all that well. And I was always told, like, even when it comes to like forever chemicals and PFAS, it's like we are at a point where the better chemistry does exist. But I was always like, why aren't you just switching over completely to that? And they're like, because the consumer doesn't want it.
Right.
And so that's where it's like
Right.
the veil lifting is so important,
Yeah.
because when we want better and
Mhm.
we're willing to invest in better, we will get better.
Yeah, we'll get better. It pushes everything around us
Yes.
to level up, and it's that's it's a crazy cycle. It's a crazy world. It's also it's sad that I feel like they think that people want to be poisoned. Because
I
it's just like
know.
the consumer doesn't like. Okay, well, does consumer like cancer?
100%.
Like why do you feel like it's okay?
The whole thing that I was constantly told was the market can't accept change. And it was never about like how harmful the chemicals could be. It was always about like change is not accepted by the consumer. And so I think as consumers, the way that we can evolve in all areas of our lives,
Mhm.
whether it's the products we buy or the way that we live, is to be open to change. Like
Yes.
we have to be willing to accept a next generation of whatever it is, the way we're living, the products that we're consuming. You're exactly right. It's like now we know better as a human race as to what chemicals and what products should and shouldn't be
Mhm.
consumed. And if all we care about is never wanting to pay one dime more and wanting it cheaper and more convenient and not wanting to see the formula shift slightly, like maybe not being as foamy as we're used to, like we're never going to get there. So I
Yeah.
think shedding light on the why behind it, why your formulas are cleaner, why you created them, it helps us realize like, okay, like just because I've always had like a shampoo that suds up like crazy in the past doesn't necessarily mean that that equals working
Right,
or
right.
safe
Or clean.
or
You're
clean.
stripping everything. And
Ah,
your skin and your scalp give natural oils, and you're removing the natural ingredients for your hair that allows it to not be frizzy, to be shiny, to be
totally.
beautiful. And then overwashing, right, then
Yep.
produces an crazy amount of sebum in your scalp. And then it's just like you feel like you have to keep washing. It's like, no, what are you washing with? Something is clogging your pores.
Yes.
There's so many
Yes.
chemicals, especially in shampoos and conditioners. So many
Absolutely.
chemicals that will clog your pores, that will mask on your hair strands, and your hair is falling out. And you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
100%.
this product was working so good. Yeah, silicones will work really nice. It'll look really pretty at the beginning. And then once you realize you have all this product buildup on your
Mhm.
hair strands, and now your hair is falling out and it's looking like crap. And it's just like, yeah, it's the
The
silicone.
hair loss is such a
Oh
problem.
my gosh, yes.
It's like worse and worse. And I don't think people ever really relate it to the ingredients that they're using.
Mm-mm. No, because we're not taught to. But then
Absolutely.
that's why I was really inspired one summer when I was vending at an event. I had these two girls. They were probably like 12. And they came up to my table. Normally, whoever comes up to my table, I'm going to, act the same. So you're coming to my table. I'm going to greet you and I'm going to talk to you about my
Yeah.
products. And I talked to these little girls, my products, and they were like, oh my God, this smells, oh my God, this is so great. And they were like, oh, can I look at the ingredients? I'm like, what do you know about ingredients? You're like 12.
Amazing.
No, because I was taught in school that, there's certain ingredients we should avoid. And I was just like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like this up and coming generation
Agreed.
are gonna have a lot more education than we did. So
Mhm.
that inspired me to create Little Science Lab. So I create STEM kits and I do workshops with kids. And these kits are pretty much everyday products, personal care products that they would use. So lip balm, hair and body spray, body butter, and then I just created a bath bomb kit. So
Cool.
there's like the STEM aspect of it, but then they're also learning that these are all natural ingredients. This will work better than
Yeah,
all of the chemicals that you will find in so many brands of chapstick or lipstick,
totally. So
So yeah.
tell me how that works. Like you give them the kit and it's like the overview of everything?
Yeah, so it kind of just depends. So like kits specifically, normally they get sent to an educator. So say like a school classroom. So a teacher would get the kit. The kit has beakers and stirrers and the containers that they would use. And I try to be as sustainable as possible as products for their finished products. And they'll get all natural essential oils. So, of course, no synthetic fragrances either. And then also all natural colors. And so so it normally comes with like a base, just so that's not too complex. They're for kids, 6 and up. So didn't want it to create it to be too complex to where like second graders can't really understand how to do things to get, the final product
Yeah.
that they would want to get. But then also with like high schoolers, they really love to create too. And then some of my kids, they have enough products to where like the kids could sell. So some schools use it for fundraising.
So
Yeah,
cool.
and so it's just been really fun just, like, doing workshops and just seeing kids and, like, hearing teachers, like, give reviews and all
Girl,
that.
that's so badass. I love that because it really does come down to education.
Yeah.
And I think like learning as consumers, like you said, what ingredients are doing for us, how they go together. And when you have, it's just like learning a foreign language. When
Mhm.
you have exposure, you understand and it's not over complex. And
No.
then you're looking at a product on the streets and you're like, okay, like I don't need all this stuff in
Right.
here. Like I've formulated a product before with
Mhm.
natural
Exactly.
products.
Right, and then now kids know to look at ingredients first rather than, "Oh, this is pretty packaging. This should
Yes.
work."
Or whatever's being, like,
Promoted.
greenwashed
Yeah.
and promoted.
Yes. Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that's where my whole goal with my brand is to help people become uninfluenced and not be told what to buy, but to make intuitive decisions for themselves on what to purchase. And that really oftentimes means not looking at the packaging and what's being thrown down your throat, because there's so many creative ways that companies are able to market towards what they think the consumer wants, which is cleaner, healthier products, but masking these ingredients that are super dangerous.
Yeah. So it's like once everybody got on the whole sulfates, then they started using derivatives of sulfates that don't say sulfate. And so people think, oh, this is safer and cleaner. It's just like, no, it's still not.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about some specific ingredients, but before we get there, I want to go back to like the STEM thing for a second. Tell everyone what STEM stands for.
So the S is for science, the T is for technology, the E is for engineering, the M is for math. Sometimes people interchange it with STEAM as well. So the A would be art or agriculture now.
Very cool. I do feel like there's such an opportunity for younger people to enter into this field that can be so interesting and cool. And the next generation, like we need more next generation people who are thinking differently to come into these spaces and help keep that innovation going.
Honestly, it was when I got in college that my physics teacher, oh my gosh, crazy thing, favorite class, I always talk about it. I can't remember her name.
Oh my gosh.
But she was the best teacher. And the class was 90% lab, 10% lecture.
Love.
Completely different from mostly lecture and a little bit of lab. And lab was something I always loved, right? That was my thing. It was just like, reading the books and all. I'm just like, oh gosh, this is annoying. So when she presented that way to us, when I say it was just like an explosion in my mind, I'm like, duh, centrifugal force. We're like, she literally had us on a tire type of thing and then was turning us. And I'm just like, oh, this is real. Like science is real.
True. And when you have the experience, that's what I always say about the podcast. It's like the whole purpose is to like share real experiences, because you'll learn so much more from that than you ever could by reading words in a book.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
It's like the application goes such a long way. When you start to realize how much of this STEM world is made up in our everyday life, and I think it's so unique that you're giving these kids the opportunity to have that experience. See how cool it is to create something.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, follow and be told what to do.
Right.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah. It's really been a fun journey just developing like these different kits and just seeing kids just explore different things that they're not normally exposed to.
Yeah.
And a lot of times too, it's like sometimes I'll go to these schools and I'm just like, what type of science did you have, last year? He goes, oh, I don't think we had science. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, how is that even possible? I just don't understand how they're taking away certain things that like we use and consume every day. From these kids, and then we wonder why they're failing in school. Like it doesn't make sense. You guys keep taking away more and more stuff from education, but then what they're still failing.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it just goes back to like, these big systems that get put in place.
Yeah.
And the goals of these big systems aren't necessarily in the best interest of the people.
Right.
So it's like all that mainstream schools care about is test scores.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? So it's like, unless that cool lab where these kids are actually being enriched and generated is going to give them that score on the test, it's like not worth anyone's time. And I do think like education suffers because of it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So it's really cool that you're doing something positive to bring that experience to people. And I think at younger and younger ages, you're exactly right with the next generation. Very in tune with wanting healthier, especially for the planet, more sustainable products. I do see this like younger and younger, because of TikTok, younger and younger kids having 12-step beauty routines.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It breaks my heart a little bit because it's just like, you guys are doing way too much.
Way too much. And I don't think they realize the ingredients that they're putting on their bodies and in and around their insides. And so it's like, you've created something that can help people learn. And I think the more you can keep sharing and getting that kind of stuff out there to helping younger people and their parents understand ingredients a bit better. It's like walking inside Sephora is hormone disrupting in itself, much less using 12 of those products on your young, beautiful skin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I think that was funny because I had an old friend that we walked into Sephora, and I was never like a Sephora person anyway. Walked into Sephora and just, she's like, oh, I'm just grabbing a couple things and blah, blah, blah. And she was just like, you know what? I probably shouldn't have took you in here because you're probably going to tell me that everything is crap. And I did. And but it also inspired me, that trip inspired me to create my body line.
Love that.
Yes, because the body oil that I had tried at the store, I'm just like, could make something better than this. And they were like, then do it. I said, okay.
Okay, let's go.
And I did.
Yes. So give us a little insight on maybe some of the like core ingredients that you feel like are the most harmful that you've particularly wanted to avoid, that are really common in a lot of common formulas, but that you do not formulate with.
Right. I mean, there's the big list. But of course, okay, we can go with what everybody knows. Sulfates, of course, is very stripping. We have hormone disruptors.
So like the ingredient will say sulfate.
So, I mean, there are many different names.
I know. Right. But I loved this little thing that you had in here.
Yeah.
Which was like
ingredients to avoid and why. And then there's a barcode that leads to my blog post that has a longer list.
Very cool.
Because of course I couldn't fit everything on a little card. That's
cool.
just, I put like the normal top 10, but I think I even need to update that card because people are again hiding the same harmful ingredients, but calling it something else.
Absolutely.
Right? So formaldehyde releasing ingredients, things they use to embalm, are really good preservatives, but it's also of course very harmful to our bodies. So we really shouldn't be using that.
Absolutely. And that's really common?
Very common.
Oh, wow.
You have things like propylene glycol, which people try to like say that it's okay, but it is also very harmful to your body. It's also used really make a better pathway for your skin to receive that product. But then you have an alternative called propanediol, which is plant-based. That does the same things.
Totally.
It might be a little bit more expensive, but it benefits your body a lot better than an alcohol, right?
Absolutely.
So putting alcohols in products, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. How are you putting an alcohol in something that's supposed to hydrate my hair? Like
100%. It's
counter
doing the complete opposite.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. Oil or petroleum, Vaseline.
Yes.
Literally, petroleum is what we use to fuel our cars, vehicles. It's toxic.
It's toxic.
Like, we have emission testing sites to make sure we're not too toxic because of the petroleum. But and so those are in products.
And I don't think people realize that the same petroleum that is being used in our cars is the derivative for a Vaseline product or like an Aquaphor.
Right.
These are really low quality oils.
Yeah.
And when you use them consistently over time, you're exposing your body to such a heavy toxic burden that it doesn't need to have.
Right. And then because your skin wants to breathe at all times, right? And so when you load it up with film forming chemical, you are literally suffocating yourself, suffocating your scalp, suffocating your face, suffocating everywhere on your body. And then, people start having these adverse reactions. And sometimes, unfortunately, it doesn't happen immediately, so sometimes people can't really trigger or trace it as quick. And that's why it's very important to educate yourself so that it's not a long-term effect.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And fragrances.
Yeah. Fragrances are very toxic because fragrances have many different chemicals to make the fragrance. So essential oils, and I feel like the reason why they moved past essential oils is because sometimes essential oils do have a shorter lifespan than synthetic fragrances. Synthetic fragrances are the absolute worst to put on your skin. And so I even remember like some of my friends, they used to, when they kind of started to like understand how bad chemicals are, they were like, this is my favorite cologne, but I only spray it on like my clothes and I let it air dry before I put it on, kind of thing. Like I had a few friends that were doing that, but it's just like, even then, like it's still on it, like it's still going to seep into your skin. So,
and into your environment, into your lungs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and I think the fragrance is such a great example of something that is created to give an illusionary experience to the consumer.
Yeah.
It's all for nothing. Like it's just so like what we smell more stronger flowers while we're washing our hair.
Right.
Like we don't need that. We don't need
yes.
hormone disruptive into potential carcinogens for a smell in our shower.
Yes, right. Or dye in our food. Like
Yes.
synthetic dyes in our food. It's just like, why? Well, I don't need my apple to have wax. Like I was just like spend hours to feel like
know.
sometimes just trying to scrape off the wax. I'm just like, because I know the skin is very good of an apple.
Yes.
But it's just like, oh my gosh, like everything is just riddled with chemicals for it to look aesthetically pleasing. Takis. I mean, I talk to kids about Takis all the time. I'm like, who likes Takis? I did. I'm like, yeah, no,
What's
you need to stop.
Takis?
Oh, they're like these spiral chips. They look more, I guess.
Okay, I think I know.
What is that? Flautas? I think they're kind of like similar to like little flautas, and they're deep fried.
Yeah.
And they normally add like a bunch of like red dye number 40 on them.
Oh God.
And the kids really love the red ones. Just like it's like it's so bad for you guys to eat. Like you really shouldn't eat Takis. And then, you know, it also disrupts their thinking. Like their mental clarity is not there. They're now, you know, they're difficult. Now I can't teach them.
Now they need medication.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we're now more chemicals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a never
it is. It really is so wild how toxic most things still are, and how much of an opportunity. I feel like it's empowering as a consumer to learn and to make better choices for yourself.
Yes.
And I think people get really overwhelmed with it, which is like understandably so, because the majority is toxic. But we have to start somewhere. And there are brands like yourself that are doing it better. And it's like understanding the why and learning to invest in those types of brands goes such a long way. And I think the best way to do it is like get the product and try it and use it for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just one time.
Right.
Because you probably need to clarify your hair quite a couple times
after a lifelong chemical use.
Right. Or detox, you know, internally.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. Before you use the collagen.
Yes, exactly.
Right, you know?
But that's why I created the collagen. I mean, I never set out to be a supplement brand. Just really beauty and supplements are the two areas that I think I was most offended by because the regulations are so far behind still. And compared to other countries, we still allow things in those products that are banned
in Europe.
Yeah. I mean, like completely.
Tens of thousands of ingredients are banned.
You research these additives and you can clearly see like these are cancer-causing products.
Yeah.
And we are just using them on a consistent basis. I think I read that the average woman uses 168 different chemicals on her body every day.
I'm sure.
Think of the burden over time. It's not surprising that cancer continues to grow, breast cancer younger and younger, fertility issues younger and younger. And until we as consumers do something about it to change the trajectory of the future, it's just going to keep happening because Big Pharma is getting rich off it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they're not trying to let go of that money.
No, they're not. I mean, look what it took just to get Red 40 regulated.
Right.
It's like a 2-year time frame and it's just one of the colors.
Yeah, just one.
And that's why people are like, huge win. And I'm like, I mean, it's the bare minimum.
Yeah, because I mean, some people still use it.
I know.
And I'm just like, don't you know this isn't supposed to?
I know.
This is illegal now at this point.
It really is. So how are you selling your products now? Is it still doing the vendor kind of thing? Or are you offering all 26 online? Have you like trimmed the product line down, or you're still offering all of those?
I'm still offering. There are a couple of trimmings that I'm going to be making, but I'm on Amazon at Meyer Fairfax.
Cool.
I'm expanding into other retailers as well. So I'm just really excited about that. That should be happening in the next few months or so.
Very cool. Congratulations, girl.
Thank you.
It is so hard as a startup brand doing something differently to compete in the mass market space.
It definitely is. And which is why I wanted to get into food.
Yeah.
Because I feel like also foodies have more fun, especially as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You know, as a unit, like they love to collaborate and all the things.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about my food product.
What is your food product?
So it'll be a superfood beauty drink mix.
Cool.
And it'll be vegan. So it's more of the plant side of things.
Love that.
But yeah. So
That's
it's supposed to help with hair, skin, and nails. But you know, internal, because I've always been like a health nut, and my mom has always been super health conscious, especially like if she sees me, she sees, even to this day, sees me put on a couple pounds. Up, girl,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
That's amazing. You have the exposure.
And so yeah, so I've always have thought like I need to eat and consume things that are beneficial to my body. And so I just decided that what was this, been a little bit over a year, that I wanted to figure out how to create a product that wouldn't be completely opposite out of, what I'm currently doing with beauty, but that would be complementary. So yeah, I've done extensive research. Got
Is
a
it a
little
liquid?
team. No, it's powder based. Yeah, individual, like kind of
Very
like on the go kind of
cool.
thing.
Love that.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about it. And also wanted it to just have other benefits. So got some anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. It's good for your gut too,
So
good for your
awesome.
joints. So it's just like,
So it's like your morning, you have your collagen in your coffee and you take your beauty food,
Yeah,
superfood powder, and
yeah,
you're glowing.
you're good to go.
Yes, I
Absolutely.
love that.
Yeah, definitely complimentary to your collagen for sure.
For sure. Yeah, I feel like in this world of neurotoxins and Botox and filler and all of these synthetic things that everyone is doing to try to look younger, we've almost gotten away a little bit from what an opportunity we have to consume our health and our fuel and look younger and younger by the way that we're treating our body inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's more long term to be healthier rather than to look like I just don't even look healthy at this point.
I know.
Because over time, if you stop doing, these procedures, it's going to show.
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of people have damaged their face and their skin just based off of like a temporary solution.
Totally.
And it's just causing a lot of really bad side effects. I feel like a lot of times when we see certain trends, we really, again, need to educate ourselves, need to see how much research was done, how many clinical trials, because I'm injecting something into my face. Like
100%.
I need to know that like long term, I'm not going to have any issues.
Yeah.
And then also I feel like, I don't know if it's been around long enough to even really know the real long-term effects.
Exactly. And that's what's so scary is it's like just becomes the norm, but we don't realize like 10, 20 years, like what this is going to be doing down the road. So where did your sales and marketing company come into the mix in this dynamic?
So I unfortunately took a break from what I was doing with my products, and I had a partner at the time, and we were building a sales and marketing company. And the goal was to then maybe like 5-6 years later, do marketing for my company. But that didn't happen. So we split, and I was able to then be full-fledged into LaJAshley, and it just kept growing. So honestly, like I want to say 2023 was really where I was able to do LaJAshley full-time.
Amazing. And as an entrepreneur who's now fully focused on just your business that you're building from scratch, like what has been some of the challenges that you think have been maybe most surprising that you didn't think would be, that you didn't think about prior to? Like, but has there been anything that's kind of been like, damn, like this is something that I've really had to overcome?
In sales and marketing, I feel like that preps you for just about anything because it takes a lot of mental fortitude, a lot of breaking down any type of like bad thinking, negative thoughts, because I was doing like door-to-door event marketing type, like that, like serious guerrilla marketing type of marketing. And so that helped me to overcome a lot of like those rejection challenges. Yeah. When it came to my business, it's like some will, some won't. So what? Kind of thing. That. So it's just like, I needed to take what I was doing in sales and marketing and of course apply it to my own business, apply it to my own life. I would say other challenges is just trying to figure out who and what opportunity is the best.
Totally agree.
Because every opportunity is not a good opportunity.
Some can be distractions.
Yeah, some can be really bad distractions and also be big destroyers.
Yeah.
And so I would say that has been a challenge for me. And then certain areas where I felt like, okay, this would be possibly a good partnership. Things just kind of fell through.
Yeah.
So just kind of, just being able to just pick up those pieces and just kind of move on and continue with what I'm doing. Just being prayerful and just knowing that that God is going to allow things to work together for my good. That's
So
how
powerful. I think the spirituality side of
oh,
entrepreneurship isn't talked about as much as
yeah.
it should be. If you don't have complete and utter faith in the process, good luck.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And in something that's like, that you're protected and it's going to work, because you really do take so much risk. And if you're stuck in that fearful space without something that you can trust, it's easy to lower your frequency and not allow those opportunities to come forwards and to get kind of like stifled by that fear. That's how I was when I first got into it, is I went from something so stable to something really risky. And I had to really find my connection to a higher power to know that I'm protected and I'm going to figure it out as I go, and to trust that process, or else it's really, like I said, stifling to try to think like you're in control of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're not. But also, once I was able to properly develop my relationship with God, that's when it was just like, okay, this is the path.
Yeah.
Everything becomes more clear. There's so much more clarity, directions. And it's not like, oh, now everything's going to be perfect. It's just that now I know that this is my purpose.
Yes.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And and it's also like my mission isn't like, oh, I'm just here to make a lot of money. Like, no, I really care about changing people's lives and
100%.
changing people's perceptions and not allowing people to just kind of stay, in the system and be brainwashed, but liberating yourself by making sure that you are educating yourself, using the right type of products that will actually benefit you instead of harming you.
100%.
Just so many different things have opened itself up to me once I started on this journey that I wholeheartedly believe this is like my purpose.
That is so badass. Amen to that, girl. That focus and purpose will yield like a magnet all of the opportunities that are meant for you. And I think that's where that faith comes in, of being able to be like, no, this is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm going to trust the journey. So cool. Is there anything that you're like, this is worth investing in as a new entrepreneur, or groups to be involved in? Or what has been some instrumental things for you that have helped you stay that path?
Environment, getting around the right people, making sure that the people in your circle are for you.
So true.
That's a big thing. Because if you feel like you're in an environment where you're constantly stifled, where people don't believe in your vision, your goals, it will stifle you. So I'm not saying to run away from home or anything like that, your parents or anything but find a group. So Wonder Woman of Food is a great group.
Yeah.
If you're in food. If you're not, Cleveland has so many resources for small businesses. It's kind of almost impossible for you not to find a good community of people that will help.
Totally agreed. And it's because the city's a little smaller, it's accessible.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is so badass. Yeah, that's so interesting you say that, because it's been a theme. I had someone on the podcast I've had many people who have kind of said something similar. It's like, if you are around people that aren't believing in you, then you start to not believe in you.
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
Especially because for me as a kid, negative self-talk was a thing. Yeah. So it took a long time for me to get out of that frame. And I can't front, sales and marketing really did help me get out of that frame. And it was rough, it was very rigorous, but it really helped. It helped me a lot.
Totally, because now, like you said, not everything is going to be for you, but the ones that are. And so now I'm sure that experience gave you such comfort with rejection that now it's like you can go put your brand out there, and if someone's not into it, it's like, okay, on to the next one.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not something that's going to tear you down and break your spirit.
Right.
And I think having a strong backbone as an entrepreneur, especially someone who's doing something different, so key.
Absolutely. And a lot of the people that I keep around me help me in different ways. So it's just like, oh, Laura, I found this, or Laura, have you heard about this, or this and that. And so it's so my environment's so much better than what it used to be. And it's just been so much more fulfilling. I would say another thing for entrepreneurs just starting out, start research. research your field, whatever you want to get into as much as possible. Just taking it back to sales. That was one of the things that allowed me to be one of like the top sales women. I gave my consumers education.
Yeah.
Like I talked to them, I knew about like, say if I was doing like energy or whatever, I knew about like the way the lines were, the pipes and the electrical wiring and just suppliers, and all of the things. And they really appreciated it.
Yeah.
And I guess that I really just carried through to what I'm doing now, and literally just popped in my head like, yeah, like I was always kind of like an educator in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and
but
it gives and I think we live in a world where resources and information is so readily available. So whatever it is that your industry is involved in, you have access to learn.
Yeah. I mean, and this generation, I'm like, imagine I had this when I was your age.
Totally.
Like I was
couldn't agree more.
conditioned to encyclopedias that had limited information.
Now you can Google, chat, GPT, like everything at your fingertip.
Like there is no excuse for you not to know anything at this point.
Would you say are your main products that like what are your top movers or the crowd favorites that maybe some of the cheekies should try?
The Bath and Body Oil, you'll be obsessed
I can't wait.
Yes.
Because it's like this harsh Cleveland weather.
Oh my gosh.
My skin is dying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. You put like that in your bath or right out the shower is normally what I tell people. And anytime you put an oil on your skin or your scalp, you always want to add a little bit of water. Water helps to open up your pores to receive oils.
Oh, okay. So if you're putting it on your skin, put the oil on your hand and put a little water with it?
Or water first. It don't matter, but just, you want to add some water before you put an oil.
It opens a skin barrier.
So like right out the shower, of course, you don't want to be like dripping wet, but damp.
Yeah.
Adding the oil into your skin allows it to penetrate your skin a lot better. And the oil is not greasy either. So that's why people love that. It also keeps the bugs away. I know we don't have bugs right now, but we will.
Yeah.
Helps keep the mosquitoes away. In the summer, naturally, because it has lemongrass. Men love it too.
Gender neutral.
Yeah, gender neutral. It's a citrus blend of essential oil. So it gives some of my clients either use it right in the morning and it gives them energy, or they use it right before they go to sleep. So I've heard different contrasts. With that, another product that's really good is our moisture mist.
Okay.
That is our lightest weight leave-in conditioner. It's great for like straighter hair types.
Okay.
To give you just just enough moisture to where you don't feel like your hair is way down or anything like that.
Got it.
It also has UV protection, so it protects your scalp from UVA rays. Okay. And it's great. So if you have hair like mine, it's a good curl refresher, but it's great if you have like braids. And it's great for taking care of your hair under wigs and weaves too.
Amazing.
So that's why that's definitely a bestseller. And then on the curlier girl side, my papaya creamy leave-in conditioner is really, really good. It's very concentrated, so a little goes a long way. I think my edge control, it's all natural. Normally the stylers, that took me 4 years to figure out formulation for edge, because there's no all natural edge controls on the market still.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about an innovator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the edge control is really good. It's great for flyaways too. And just give your hair a nice sleek look without like the white buildup and all that nasty stuff.
Yeah. And it's like, like the slick back buns are so cool right now. And it's like people are using like full blown petroleum.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The stylers. Oh my God. Hair styling ingredients, I think, are the worst.
Yeah.
Because normally people want like a stiff look, like mold. It's just like all of the things that they use, it's literally like crap. So it's like a dehydration process and then like a film forming and fixative
totally
type of ingredients that they use in stylers. And that's what makes them super toxic. But I was able to make a all natural styling gel and edge control to combat that.
That's so incredible. And I think what's also amazing is, we've all learned that washing too much isn't great for your hair, like overwashing. So now it's like we're going a week, hear me, without washing your hair. And so if you're using these toxic products and then like laying on your pillow and sleeping in them, it's like it's getting everywhere.
Yeah, it gets everywhere.
Yeah.
And like your
and
face,
your pets, like
my gosh,
so toxic in all ways.
Oh my gosh, pet products are horrible. Most pet products are horrible, and baby products too.
Baby products are so bad.
Oh my gosh,
it blows my mind.
Baby oil is mineral oil. It's like what? Like Like, are
like
you
we
trying
said,
to
used
cook
in
my
those
baby?
are you trying to cook the baby? My God. So is your oil baby safe?
Oh, yeah. All of
Yeah.
my products are great from babies to,
Amazing. As it should be. If it's a
sensitive.
natural, real product,
Mhm.
then there shouldn't be like a designated baby one.
Oh, yeah, no. And it's great for eczema too. So like I have a lot of
Amazing.
clients whose kids, have eczema, and I actually used to have eczema too. And I would either bathe in it like twice a month. You just add it to the water and you
Amazing.
soak in it for a little bit, and it'll help with the eczema and all that.
Oh, I cannot wait to try your products.
Thank you. Me too.
And the Cheekies can try it with a 15% off store
Mhm.
shopping with the code Cheeky15. So we'll leave that for you guys in the notes, but all listeners, Cheeky15, shop it at, what's your website?
LaJaShley.com. So www.LAJASHLEY.com. So it's my name smushed together. LaJaShley.
LaJaShley. So
LA.
beautiful. And where can people shop you in life, you said? At
Meyer,
Myers?
Fairfax right
Awesome.
now. And I'll be expanding into Lucky's Market soon.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
girl.
Mhm.
Congrats.
Thank you. And Amazon.com. Just
And
in case
Amazon.com.
you're a junkie like me.
Totally. And it's like we need the better brands on there because
Yeah.
people do want the convenience. And
Yes.
so it's like the more of the cleaner options that are there, the better.
Mhm.
So totally feel that. You are such an inspiration.
Thank
Like
you.
I can't be more in awe of what you're doing and the way you're like so confidently following this passion of yours that is so needed.
Yeah.
You're still so ahead of your time, So it's like keep on keeping on, girl, because
Mhm.
the market's slowly getting there. I really do believe it. And that's why it's so powerful to have people like yourselves come on the podcast and talk to people about how like we have options and you can make an empowered choice and
Absolutely.
not only support a brand in your body, but a real human being who's really trying to do something different and drive some change.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
So thank you.
Thank
We'll have to like
you.
continue to do some collaboration in the future.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
So stay tuned for that, Cheekies.
Yeah.
And where can people find you on socials?
At LaJaShley or at Little Science Lab on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Very cool. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
If you guys loved this episode, please like and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple. For more conscious living resources, please go to www.TheCheekyClean.com. And to shop the clean collagen, go to ConsciousCart.com. We have some new products launching soon and a lot more education to come. So continue to stay tuned, like and support if you can, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks, Laura.
You're welcome. Bye.